Hi again. In this video I'm going to discuss local variables, which is a subject that is covered in the second half of chapter 2 of your text. We have a very small program here, and let's just go through it quickly and look at the parts. So the name of the class is hello. We have a field, integer field x. We have a constructor. In that constructor, we set x equal to 10 and LV equal to 20. Now, you haven't seen LV before, but if we come down to this next method, which returns an integer value, takes in a parameter of type integer, and within that method, we have declared an integer variable called LV and set it equal to 10. So here's where LV is defined in sample method. And then there's the return value here, which simply adds up the variables and returns them. Now, if I compile this, I get an error message. It says, cannot find symbol variable LV. That's a little odd because it's right here, right? Why can't it find it? The reason it can't find it is because LV is a local variable. It only exists within this method. And that's true for all local variables. They only exist within the method they are defined within. So that's why up here in this constructor method, hello, the Java compiler can't find it, doesn't know what it is. So first rule on local variables is you can only use them within the method that where they are declared. Okay? So if I get rid of this line, and hit compile, the class compiled, no syntax errors. Okay, so that's great. So the let's see what this method's actually doing. When it's called, it will get an integer value passed in. It will set the local variable LV equal to 10, and it will return x, and it knows what x is because x is a field, so it could come up and check what x is equal to, and the constructor, remember, set x equal to 10, so it's going to return 10 plus whatever was passed in for the parameter value y plus LV, which is also equal to 10. So if when we called sample method we passed in 10, this method would return 10 plus 10 plus 10, or 30. Okay? Now, the reason you have local variables is because oftentimes you need to store temporary values as part of a process that's solving some solution that you're working on. And if those variables only need to exist for a short period of time, basically the time that the method is running, then it makes sense to declare them locally, and you don't take up extra memory in the computer's memory that might be needed for other things. The memory can be temporarily allocated within the method while the method is running, and then when the method is finished, that temporarily allocated memory can be freed up for other things. I just wanted to show you one other thing here. If I do y equals 10 here, what do you think will happen? Now, there's no other mention of y except as the parameter here for sample method. So let's try to compile this and see what happens. That should look familiar. Cannot find symbol variable y. Why does that happen? Because the variable y is a parameter, and parameters are local or only exist in the method which they are parameters for. So outside of sample method, y doesn't really exist, and therefore Java can't find that symbol up here. Okay? So both parameters and local variables only exist within the method where they are declared. One other small thing here. See, when I click next to this brace gets a little box around it. If I click next to this brace, that brace gets a little box around it. Or it can work the other way. If I click on the bottom brace, next to the bottom brace, the matching top brace gets the box around it. This can be really helpful as your programs become more complex and you're trying to understand or to see where a block of code begins and ends. So just remember that. Clicking next to a brace will show you where the matching brace is. So that's it on local variables. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.